Hello, my dear children. I hope you are doing well. Today, in this video, we'll be dealing with the reading and explanation of the chapter The Visitor. So, let's begin. Unit 8 The Visitor. This story is set in Germany during World War II, 1939 to 1945. Adolf Hitler, the leader of Germany and the Nazi Party, believed that Germans were superior to everybody and born to rule over the world. Hitler had a special hatred for Jewish people. He considered them less than human and did not think they had a right to freedom or life. He arrested all Jewish people in Germany and imprisoned them in concentration camps where they were often tortured and killed. So, as I told you in a summary, that German people thought that they were master race and superior to all the other races, and also believed that they were destined to rule the world. They always asserted their claims to racial superiority, and they had strong views about special races, especially about the Jews and the black people. They did not, Hitler had a special hatred for Jewish people. He blamed the Jews for every evil that had overtaken in their country. He considered them less than human and did not think they had right to freedom in the freedom or life. And so the Jewish people in Germany were subjected to daily abuse and violence. Hitler arrested and imprisoned them where they were tortured and killed. Okay, so next paragraph. Liesel is a 12-year-old German girl. She and her parents, Hans and Rosa Habermann, do not agree with Hitler's cruel policies. They are hiding a Jewish man called Max Vandenberg in their basement and are determined to keep him safe. This is very dangerous because if they are discovered, all of them will be arrested and put to death. In this excerpt, Liesel is playing with the friends when she hears some terrifying news. So, here in this story, a girl who were against the racist beliefs and policies of Hitler and were hiding a Jewish man named Max. They uh, they were determined to protect him from Nazis, and so when one day Liesel was going out to play with her friends, she heard some terrifying news. A new ball had been found for Himmel Street football. That was a good news, but somewhat unsettling news was that a division of NSDAP was heading towards them. NSDAP was a National Socialist German Workers' Party, or we can say the Nazi party working for Adolf Hitler. Nazi party was led by Adolf Hitler, and so the workers who were doing work for Nazi Hitler, they were known as Nazi party. They progressed all the way through the town, street by street, house by house, and now they stood at Frau Diller's shop. Frau means it is a German word which means Mrs. Taking a quick break before they continued with their business. From afar, the children watched. Liesel had only just come out and she'd walked over to Rudy and Tommy. What's going on up there? So, a very terrifying news was that a division of NSDAP, that is Nazi workers, were going towards them. This terrifying news is for just for Liesel because she and her family were hiding a Jewish person and not others. For others, there was one happy news that a new ball had been found on their street to play football. So they were going to every house and streets of the town, and at that time they were standing at Mrs. Diller's shop. Children of Himmel Street were watching those Nazi workers. That was when Liesel came to her friends to play. When she saw that all the friends were looking at something, she asked Rudy and Tommy what was going on there. Rudy put his hands in his pocket. The party. They are checking all the houses and apartments block. Instant dryness seized the interior of Liesel's mouth. For what? Don't you know anything? Tell her, Tommy. Tommy was perplexed. Well, I don't know. You're hopeless, the pair of you. They need more air raid shelters. Air raid means an attack by armed airplanes on the surface. So they needed shelter for those air raids. So here in these paragraphs, we come to know that Rudy, when Liesel asked her friends Tommy and Rudy what was going on there, Rudy, putting his hands in his pocket in a very cool way, told her that they were people from Nazi party and they were checking all the houses and apartment blocks. As soon as Liesel heard that, her mouth turned dry out of fear immediately. She got scared and panicked as her family was hiding a Jewish man and in their basement, and she knew that if they get caught by the Nazis during search that they were hiding a Jew, they would be arrested and punished. She then tried to collect more information from her friends about the search and asked them what for they were inspecting the houses. To which Rudy, in a cold way, said to her, why didn't she know anything, and asked Tommy to explain her. But Tommy as well was puzzled and didn't know anything about the search. So Rudy, acting very smart, said that they both were hopeless and told them that they were searching for more air raid shelters. They were searching for shelters for protection from air raids, as we all know that it was time of Second World War, and so they were searching for basements for shelter in every house of the town. What, basements? No, attics. Of course, basements. Attics are the space or room just below the roof of a house. They're checking the basements to see if they're good enough to be shelters. Liesel, you really are stupid, aren't you? The children got back to their game, but Liesel was still standing. How could she get back inside without looking too suspicious? The small crowd of men up at the Fro Dillers was starting to disperse. Panic generated in that awful way. Throat and mouth, air became sand. Think, she thought. Come on, Liesel, think, think. Rudy's scored faraway voices congratulated him. So it was obvious that for air raid shelters, basements would be required. Liesel knew this, but still tried to confirm if they were inspecting basements too, which Rudy sarcastically replied, no, they were inspecting the attics. And he reacted this way because it seemed a very dumb question for him, as it was obvious that for air raid shelters basements are required. But then he also cleared that of course they were inspecting for basements and checking if they were good enough for shelters. And then again he called Liesel stupid. After all those conversations, everyone else got back to their game except Liesel, because she was very much scared of getting caught and was thinking of an idea to go back to her house without looking suspicious. Then she saw that the small crowd of men was getting dispersed and the Nazis were proceeding to other houses. When she saw that they were getting closer, she got panicked and her throat and mouth became dry. She felt suffocating. She was not able to come up with any idea, and so she encouraged herself to think about something very fast. Their children were still playing, and Rudy scored a goal, and children congratulated him. And here Liesel is still standing and trying to think hard. An idea. Think, Liesel. She had it. That's it, she decided, but make it real. As the Nazis progressed down the street, the ball was passed through the air to one of the bigger kids, Klaus Berg. The boy turned with the ball just as Liesel arrived, and they collided with such a force that the game stopped automatically. As the ball rolled off, players ran in. Liesel held her grazed knee with one hand and other head with the other. Klaus Behrig only held his right shin, grimacing and cursing. Where is she? He spat. I'm going to kill her. Children, shin is the front part of the leg from knee to ankle, okay? So finally, after thinking too much, she got an idea and she decided that whatever she would do, it should be real and not just acting. So, as the Nazis came closer, she saw that the ball was passed to one of the bigger kids, Klaus. As soon as the boy turned with the ball, Liesel just arrived and bumped into him. They collided with extreme force that children stopped playing and came to look Liesel and Klaus. Liesel injured her knees and Klaus hurt his right shin. He was annoyed and was cursing her, asking where she was and saying that he would kill her for that accident. There would be no killing. It was worse. A kindly party member had seen the incident and jogged dutifully down to the group. What happened here? He asked. Well, she is a maniac. Klaus pointed at Liesel, prompting the man to help her. Prompting means encouraging or suggesting him to help her. I don't think you are in any state to keep playing, my girl. He said, where do you live? So the situation was worse than just killing for Liesel. There, a Nazi worker who had seen the incident came towards the group and asked what had happened. Klaus, the big boy, prompting the man to help her up, said that she was a maniac. Maniac means a person who behaves in wild and stupid way. So the Nazi man said to Liesel that she was not in the state of playing and so she should go home, and also asked where her home was. I am fine, she answered. Really, I can make it myself. Just get off me. Get off me. That was when Rudy stepped in. I'll help you home, he said. Why couldn't he just mind his own business for a change? Really? Liesel said. Just keep playing, Rudy. I can make it. No, no. He wouldn't be shifted. The stubbornness of him. It will only take a minute or two. So Liesel said that she was fine and she can go by herself. She asked everyone to leave her. That was when Rudy volunteered to help her take home. Liesel got annoyed and thought why couldn't he mind his own business, as she wanted to go home alone. Liesel then tried to comfort Rudy by saying that she could go by herself, but he didn't listen to her and said that it would just take 2 minutes to drop her at home. Again, she had to think, and again she was able. With Rudy holding her up, she made herself drop once more to the ground on her back. My papa, she said. The sky, she noticed, was utterly blue, not even the suggestion of a cloud. Could you get him, Rudy? Stay there. So, as she wanted to go alone to her home and inform her parents, but Rudy kept saying that he would take her home, she again had to think of a plan to get rid of Rudy, and she got an idea very soon. As Rudy was holding her and making her stand, she made herself drop to the ground, showing that she was not able to stand and her papa can carry her home. And so she asked Rudy to call her father for her. Rudy, asking Liesel to be there, went to call her father. Liesel kept an eye on the party man. A minute later, Hans Habermann was standing calmly over her. Hey, Papa. A disappointed smile mingled with his lips. I was wondering when this would happen. Mingled means mixed. So the mixed expression, he was smiling with mixed expression. So till the time Rudy went to call her father, Liesel kept an eye on the party man, and just after a minute, Hans, her father, was standing above her. Her father, with disappointed, mixed smile, said that he wondered someday she would get hurt like this. He picked her up and helped her home. The game went on, and the Nazi was already at the door of lodging. Lodging is a place where one can pay and stay. A few doors up, no one answered. Once inside their house, Liesel gave him the information. She attempted to find the middle ground between silence and despair. Papa, the party, she whispered. Papa stopped. He fought off the urge to open the door and look up the street. They're checking basements to make shelters. The Hans, Liesel's father, picked her up and took home. The game resumed on the street, and the Nazi was at the door of lodge. As soon as Liesel and her father entered the house, Liesel gave him all the information, trying hard to keep calm and speak. She told that the party was checking basements to make shelter. Her father wanted to open the door and check up the street for where those Nazis were, but he fought his urge and didn't look because this behavior of him could make him and his family suspicious, as if they were hiding something. He set her down. Smart girl, he said, and then called for Rosa. They had a minute to come up with a plan, a chamoisel of thoughts. Chamoisel means state of chaos and confusion. We'll just put Max in Liesel's room, and was Mama's suggestion, under the bed. That's it. What if they decide to search our rooms as well? Do you have a better plan? Correction, they did not have a minute. A knock was hammered into the door of 33 Himmel Street, and it was too late to move anyone anywhere. So Hans, Liesel's father, setting her down, appreciated her and called her wife Rosa. They had a very less time to think of a plan. They had only a minute to think of a plan, as Nazis were very close to their house, and at any moment they could give a knock on the door. They were confused in their thoughts, thinking of a plan to hide Max. Liesel's mama said that they could put Max under the bed of Liesel's room, which was soon disapproved by Hans, saying what if they decide to search the rooms as well, and asked her to come up with a better plan. But the minute was not over, and there was a knock on the door by Nazis. It was too late to think or to execute any plan. Author in this paragraph has written correction. They did not have a minute, because just before a minute the Nazis knocked at their door. They didn't even get a minute to plan. Open up. Their heartbeats fought each other, a mess of rhythm. On this day, it was Papa who rose to the occasion. He rushed to the basement door and threw a warning down the steps. When he returned, he spoke fast and fluent. Look, there is no time for tricks. We could distract him 100 different ways, but there is only one solution. He eyed the door and summed up nothing. So here we see that Nazis were at the door and they asked to open it. That was the time when everyone in the family was nervous and their heartbeats were exploding out of nervousness. That time, Hans kept his panic and nervousness aside and made a special effort to deal with the situation. He rushed towards the basement and warned Max, the one whom they were keeping in the basement, and asked him to hide himself somewhere in the basement. And then he came to her Liesel and Rosa and told that there was no time for making any plans or doing something, and they could distract the Nazis in many ways while they were in their house. And again, he added that there was only one solution, but in panic and nervousness and lack of time, he couldn't explain. So he said nothing. So, my dear children, till here, I think the chapter is clear to you. Rest we'll do in the next video. Thank you so much.